schedule. We will try and keep this panel discussion very engaging, interesting, and a good amount of knowledge sharing. We have some wonderful panel members with us. So without further ado, let me call upon the panel members. Firstly, to start with, Ms. Atia, who's the head of HR of Dhofar Insurance Company, acting head of HR, a forward-thinking professional with 13 plus years of experience. She comes with an electrical engineering degree and a CIPD level 5, NIBOS certifications and several other degrees. She is known for her ability to work with data. Ladies and gentlemen, happy to welcome Ms. Atia on the panel. The next to come is a very accomplished personnel, Hamza Lawati. He's an accomplished Omani leader, currently with Infoline as its HR director. He has done several stints with ENY, OQ, Dukum Refinery, and MDO. He holds a master's degree in entrepreneurship from University of Leeds and several other certifications. He's also an academician and he's a visiting professor and lecturer in Sultan Qaboos University. Happy to welcome Hamza on the panel. Moving on, I would like to invite a very senior, a very accomplished learning and development leader, Mr. Ritesh Arora, from Head of Human Capital Development from Bank Muscat. He has come to Oman a year ago, but has very long experience in people development in the region, 24 years of experience across banking. He has led several transformative initiatives linked to Vision 2040. He was with Ashfaq Bank in UAE before. He's also a certified internal auditor and is known for embedding AI-driven ecosystems for building future pipelines. It will be very, very interesting to listen to Ritesh today. And finally, we have the bubbling, energetic Wisal Al-Rashdi. We heard her present a graduate program. I'm so happy to have her in the panel. With 11 years of experience, she currently leads WUJHA across Oman and Egypt. She holds a bachelor's degree in HR from Scotland, and she also is a passionate advocate for community development. You heard about her. So very, very happy to have this panel. So while we are talking questions, I'll also give you some homework to do. Please, can I have this on the screen? So I have put a QR code. As I ask questions with the panel members, please put your views on what I've asked. So go ahead and look at your question and please put your answers. So scan the QR code and put your answers while we just start the discussion. Thank you, panel members, for coming and gracing. We, as I mentioned, I think our idea is to give as much value of the time, so let's kind of get going. My first question to all panel members, and I will start with Wisal, is a quick few lines on one biggest challenge you face in developing internal talent. A very quick 1 or 2 lines. One biggest challenge.
First of all, thank you for having me here. It's an honor to share the stage with some of the most esteemed fellow HR members with me here today. I would say the biggest challenge we face in talent development is mainly attracting very good experienced calibers in sales in particular, which is why we started the WUJHA Graduate Program Initiative to develop talents. But as you know, our working population is mainly very young. So they require a lot of mentoring, a lot of support for that to mature. So it will take a few years for us to see our Omani talents being very well experienced within the sales domain in real estate.
Lovely. Yeah. So yeah, attracting high-po talent to work in sales is a great challenge. Yeah. Ritesh?
Yeah, I think lack of skills intelligence, hampering allocation of limited resources to right upskilling initiatives. According to a Gartner research, only 8% of organizations worldwide have a view of what their skills portfolio is in the workforce. So that also leads to other challenges within HR, but that's the core, that's the biggest challenge.
Yeah. Great point. Yeah, Hamza.
Thank you for having me here. I think the challenge that we will be facing in the future is with regards to Gen Z and Gen Alpha, because many researchers by Gallup and other institutes mentioned that the turnover will be high. And it is expected that a Gen Alpha person changes between 12 to 15 jobs within 20 years of tenure.
Oh, great. True. So working with this generation people is a challenge. Atia.
Thank you, Ritesh. So I will speak in particularly about insurance sector. So locally we do not have qualification framework available where the education scheme is there for the young Omani talent. That is one. Second is when it comes to underwriting high risk businesses, in particularly insurance, we do not have local talent available, and the other insurance companies are very few. So we develop our own internal talent. That's make succession plan more challenging.
Good, great views. The audience feel the most important where Omani companies need to improve is to identifying hypo employees early. Yeah, very, very true. I think 45% of you all feel that's the most important. 27% offering relevant skills, coaching and mentoring, and career pathway. So I think identifying high potential employees early is the name of the game, and thank you for that feedback. So next question is to Wisal. Can you share a specific example how your organization has successfully identified and developed hypo Omani employees? So again, identification of hypo Omani employees is once you observe that they are good and they have high potential. So share with us an example of how you have done this in your organization.
Okay, so what we do is when we attract specifically Omani talent, we focus on attracting talents within all our functions. In WUJHA, we don't only focus on sales, we have different interchangeable functions. So we have functions such as leasing, facility management, customer care. These skills can be interchangeable. When we first absorb young Omanis or graduates, we try to identify these skills early on. We do what we call our performance appraisal KPIs, which are very initial and within the initial stages of joining. And we observe them over a period of a few months along with their line manager. We look at recommendations. So if we feel that at first they join a function where that might not be the best fit for them, we would be able to shuffle them around into a function that would be able to absorb them better, or vice versa. Sometimes their skills are actually they're more skilled in some technical parts that we wouldn't expect them to be good at. Sure. And so what we would do is we would then shuffle them into a part or role where we feel they'll be able to give more for the company and develop within their career as well. Because with a lot of young Omanis, they are, yes, shuffling jobs quite a lot, but they are interested in career growth. Sure. So if you show them potential for career growth, they're likely to stay longer with you.
Yeah, helping them find the niche. Atia, what's your experience and how do you do that? Yeah.
It is basically talent development initiatives, what we have taken within the company. And first of all, it is developing the existing workforce who are in the company, because we are from 1989. So we have people who are more than 20 years of experience. Sure. How to develop them and how to make them basically happy at the workplace and motivated enough. Second is we have identified the potential talent through competency assessment, definitely performance appraisal and CAR metrics. So out of that, whoever are the most potential candidates, we have put them on a personal development plan. So whatever the gaps in the competency and CR metrics, we are following up on quarterly basis. And for that particular purpose, I would like to thank our board members, our management team, that it is fully supported by them in terms of cost, in terms of motivating them and providing them further growth opportunities within the within company and within inter-department as well.
Oh, lovely. Again, for your all information, the CAR matrix which Atia mentioned is capacity, achievement, and relationship. This is used in general potential assessment. So great to know that Dhofar Insurance is using it. Good luck and Very good. The next question is for yourself, Ritesh. I know that Bank Muscat, being a leading bank, invests a lot in people development, and we wanted to understand how have you aligned your internal development strategy with Oman Vision 2040? Because Oman Vision 2040, out of the 4 important pillars, 2 pillars really speak about people development and development of competence in organizations. So it'll be interesting to see how has Bank Muscat aligned your internal development strategies with Oman Vision 2040.
Yeah, I mean, there's a huge emphasis on building a dynamic and vibrant private sector in Oman Vision 2040. In line with that, how we are doing it currently is we are investing a lot in education and future skill development. We run very substantial scholarship, internship programs to develop local talent, both within the organization and in the wider community. There is a lot of participation in public sector initiatives for skill development of talented Omanis. There is a lot of emphasis on skill-based development to prepare an agile and future-ready workforce through centers of excellence, through role-based curricular development, industry-specific curricular development, and building and running a very robust innovation lab to foster entrepreneurial and innovation skills within the workforce. So these are broadly some of the things that we do to align the talent development initiatives with Oman Vision 2040.
Oh, lovely. Oman Vision 2040, according to me, is a very great document which organizations can use to align internal talent development and get inspiration from. I'm greatly inspired, and it's a great document to kind of work on. The next question is to Hamza. So what learning and development interventions have yielded the most measurable business impact in your organization for the last 2 years?
Okay, so to answer this question, maybe it's good to give a brief about what Infoline does. So Infoline is a business process outsourcing company whereby the interlinkage between the operations, the HR, and the finance and the commercial is very huge. When we say business process outsourcing, we talk about more than 1,000 employees across different projects, and we have a management team or a corporate team that supports all these projects. Now, the company has recently transformed in terms of the structure, in terms of branding as well, whereby we have moved from a product-based structure to a functional-based structure. Now, shifting from this can create discrepancies between the different functions because the way of working has been changed. So in order to overcome this challenge, last year we took all the corporate staff through a Lean Six Sigma Yellow Belt training program. Now, it helped the team work on specific projects and understand the interdependencies between them. Majority of them got certified, which is good for them to put in their CVs as well. More than 95% now of the corporate team is at least Yellow Belt certified. And we did not stop there. We injected these into the departmental KPIs. So this year, each and every department has to work on a particular lean project in order to make sure that the training and the investment yields.
Oh, lovely. Can you describe a mentorship or a coaching, what role has cross-functional project deployment played in talent development within your company? Wisal, this question is for you. I know that, you spoke about people kind of across, but what role has cross-functional project development played? And give us some examples of how have you done it within your organization.
Like I mentioned earlier, there are some departments that we would call interlinked departments or supportive departments. For example, if I go back again to our sales function, we have different operations that support sales today. We have our TFM, which is our facility management. We have our core functions such as our operations team, our leads team that support sales. We've got marketing, we've got customer care. So what we do is we look at the skills that the individuals would have sometimes either through the graduate program or through new skill developments, and we would deploy them into these cross-functional departments. In fact, to give you a specific example, some of our leasing team today are graduates from the graduate sales program, and they're working lease some of our recent projects and developments, particularly a commercial project that we have with Atia called City Square. So they're like little community squares across Omani neighborhoods in Muscat, and they're helping with leasing these units within the next few months.
Lovely, lovely. That's a great example of how you can use cross-functional project deployment. So the question asked, I'll keep the question on while we work on the other questions. So I have a question for you, Hamza. Can you describe a mentorship or a coaching initiative which your organization has done to successfully bridge cultural gaps and generational gaps among diverse Omani workforce? I know a lot of young Omani workforce is coming into the country, into work. Last year, I think the first set of the last generation came into workforce. So how have you done it? Just share us some initiatives which you have kind of worked on.
Understand the importance of mentorship. It's important that you experience it. When I started my career back in EY, I wish Alkesh was here. He would have loved to hear this. We had a mentorship program called the Buddy System. So the relationship between you and your mentor even starts before you join the workforce. I remember receiving a call a couple of days before joining the company from my buddy. And guess what? More than a decade down the line, we're still buddies on the professional as well as the personal level. I would also like to focus on some of the initiatives that I led when I was working in the energy sector. So to bridge the gap between the generations, we have created a knowledge sharing scheme whereby we match young Omanis with either expert expats or either expert Omanis from different disciplines. But then we made it kind of structured. So the knowledge sharing has to be based on specific competencies that the employee agrees with the line manager and all. And there is a 3 to 4 months assignment that the trainee has to work on with regular reporting. And that helped because we mapped, for example, people from contracts with legal, so that they understand how legal look at contracts. Or, for example, finance with internal audit. And that yielded a good success in the organization at that time.
Oh, lovely, lovely. Because coaching and mentorship really ensures in terms of people development. In fact, yesterday I was talking to Rola, and she said that training without having a proper coaching and mentor program is not very effective. So organizations need to build this in tandem with each other. Ritesh, I have a question for you. We'll again come to it, let more people answer. I'll let it be on the screen. So we all speak about competency frameworks, right? So sometimes it's a bit of a black box, what you do with that, etc. So many times they say, oh, it's written in a book or it's in the files. But when you ask organizations, what have you actually done with that? Very few organizations have really operationalized competency frameworks. So it'll be good to understand from you on how are you operationalizing competency frameworks and using it for people development? And please share an example. So that will make this session interesting.
Sure. I mean, one of the most common things that is done is skills and competencies are used interchangeably. Both are very different. So we need to understand what is it that we are talking about. They are not mutually exclusive. It is just that the skills is ability to perform a task, a very specific task, and competency is how you perform it in a given business context, combining your experience and other knowledge, etc., that you have, and the learned skill, right? So when we talk about competencies, given the business that we are in, we've defined a competency framework, a set of competencies that are common to all jobs. That is how we want to do business. That is primarily used for our leadership development programs. So we have a 4-tiered leadership development program within the organization that is based on the competency framework that we've agreed internally. So that ensures that we are developing consistent behaviors within the organization, and the performance expectations are set across board, right from the entry-level roles up to the most senior-level roles. And this talks to our organizational values and our vision and mission statement. When it comes to skill-based development, again, curating learning pathways which are role-based. So there are certain job roles where there is higher concentration of headcount. Knowing what are the skills required to perform those roles helps us curate learning pathways that help especially new employees onboard very quickly and start contributing to the job that they've been hired for in a shorter period of time. It also allows us to curate what we call as career pathways, where employees know that in my current role, what are the skills that I need to be successful, but everybody aspires to grow professionally. So what will it take for me to grow into the next level in my role? So if you have a well-defined skill taxonomy that allows you to curate learning pathways and career pathways, which also foster internal talent mobility. So these are some of the things that we consciously focus on. I wouldn't say it is all pervasive. It is being done in pockets, but it is a good start.
Yeah, great. Any of you, what about Atia? Why don't you share some examples with Dhofar Insurance?
In insurance sector, competency metrics, as insurance sector, we are the first one to implement competency metrics. So we have built the competency metrics department-wise and a position-wise. And there is a scale of competency required as per the position. So what we do, and we are conducting assessment for high potential employees who are identified. So, and we will build a career path and the performance development path based on the result of competency assessment metrics. So from there on, the high potential employees, they have a clear career path where they are heading and what competencies they are required to possess in order to move to a senior position. Now we have five years personal development plan for around 40 people in the company. So there are employees who completed instead of 5 years in 2 years period, and they have got the designation and the position and the responsibility in a very senior leadership role within the organization. So now it depends on employees how they are performing. Plus, as an HR and the management team, we are fully supporting them to make sure that they are on track.
Well, that's very, very important, because that's what has come in the poll to say that what is one most important enabler for internal talent development, and the overwhelming vote is encouragement. Yeah, unless and until there is encouragement within an organization for employees to develop talent and grow, encouragement doesn't need to be purely in monetary terms. It can be done in many ways, right? I think a very important factor. Thanks for that feedback, audience. I think encouragement is very, very important, and visible encouragement. Noticeable encouragement it plays a big role and does a major change in terms of internal talent development. Thank you for that. I have this question again. One of you could choose to answer. We spoke a lot on AI, so I also wanted you all to touch up. To what extent are you using AI in businesses at this point of time? Okay, you can also say no, nothing, or say that okay, whatever. Whatever is realistically, what amount of AI is being used in your own businesses for HR at this point of time? We could start from your. You could.
Oh, this one works now. Thank you. Right, I'll give a very simple example of how we use AI on a daily basis at work. You mentioned a few applications. Obviously, everyone knows ChatGPT, and I'm sure a lot of you, use it for all kinds of things, particularly when you want to have a very stern response to an email. But other than, using that application for that purpose, what I've done is I've approached different levels of management, whether they're in C-level, whether they're in our line managers, and I've showed them how they can even enhance and refine some of their internal communications. So it's not always about external communications. Sometimes focusing on internal communication can make things happen faster, more professionally, and gives them a chance to express themselves in a more concise way. Often you find yourself receiving a lot of emails with not a lot of clear instructions, and B, sometimes the email can go on and on without really getting to the point. So for me, it's about saving time, getting to the point, the managers being able to connect professionally and refining some of their emails that can contain requests or instructions. So that's how we started using AI at work. It's actually shown a lot of improvement in terms of internal communication, particularly, I would say, between the line management and C-level level, because they tend to submit a lot of reports, whether they're monthly, quarterly reports. So we've kind of refined that a little bit internally.
Lovely. Ritesh?
Yeah, so we are piloting a AI sales coach program for a very large sales workforce, where we've procured an enterprise LLM, which we are training on our product policies, customer service standards, and making it available to our sales people to practice their selling skills across levels, which is to make the sales pitch using correct information, which is to prevent mis-selling by understanding customer needs. Then objection handling, which is the next level in sales. And finally, doing service recovery in case a customer is dissatisfied with the product or service that you've sold them earlier. So the initial feedback is very encouraging, but more importantly, it allows us to make the program available to employees on demand, which means they no longer have to huddle into a classroom to undergo a sales training. It's available to them. So tomorrow, if I'm meeting a H&I customer and I want to practice my sales pitch, I have an AI sales coach that I can access at my convenience, at my own time, at my own place.
Lovely.
And practice my pitch before I actually go and meet the customer. And because it is an AI ML solution, it learns from other participants in the program and provides you more contextual feedback, which is relevant to your organization, your products, your policies, etc. So I think that's the future, that's the way forward. And this is a very quick win, a low-hanging fruit that most organizations, I think, can benefit from.
Oh, lovely. Great initiative. Hamza?
So I'll keep it within HR because the question is within
correct.
HR. Otherwise, we have, as Infoline, we have lots of products related to customer centricity on AI. But within HR, you mentioned in your speech the recruitment system that uses AI to matches between jobs,
Correct.
and vacancies, and also we have that embedded. So we use this recruitment system. The other example that I wanted to give is when I joined the organization, and because we have more than 1,000 employees who are scattered around, we don't have really access to their attendance on a daily basis. So we receive those manually, and it used to be input in our system manually. So this work used to take 3 days mainly. So we kind of developed an RPA tool, a robotics process automation tool, that we get all the inputs from every client, and it automatically generates the report and feeds into the system. So the work of 3 days has gone down to, 15 minutes maybe, or 20 minutes.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. Atia?
Yeah, so mainly it is in communication. So we are using chatbots to make the communication easy. Second is while performance management, because previously we used to, as an HR, we need to verify the numbers and the reports. So for sales team, it is sales numbers, and for non-sales team, basically turnaround time. So we are working for automation in order for us as an HR to verify those numbers and to measure the performance of each and every employee.
Oh, okay. So that's good. Again, it all depends on how easily we are able to institutionalize these things and make them available to employees in the organization. So this brings us to the last question for all the panel members, and this is on looking at the next 5 years. What internal talent development trends or innovations do you foresee as most critical for Oman's evolving labor market, and why? So, what do you think is the most critical for developing the Oman labor market? Again, keeping in mind what has been envisioned by Vision 2040. So, what should each organization do from a very innovative point of view? You could even talk about things which is not happening today, may not be happening in your organization. Doesn't matter, but what should we can be futuristic, right? What should every organization do? I would want to start with Ritesh. You can start with.
Yeah, I mean, so 5 years from now, what I foresee is the rise in continuous education and micro-credentialing platforms. The rationale for that is, given Oman Vision 2040, the labor market is going to evolve in terms of the nature of jobs. With the ingress of AI and ML across businesses and the digital transformation that we foresee over the next 5 years, it'll give rise to different kinds of employment contracts. There will be a rise in gig workforce. There'll be a rise in short-term contractual work. So that will require employees to continuously upscale. So the day and era of long training programs and diplomas and degrees is going to come to pass. It is as businesses pivot more and more to skill-based workforce management, continuous learning and micro-credentialing will become mainstream as far as talent development is concerned. And 5 years from now, I foresee generative AI being mainstreamed, especially in wider HR and more specifically in talent development and talent management. And again, the reasons are obvious. The infrastructure would have evolved. The technology would have become cheaper and more readily available. The work processes would have matured, and skill-based development practices would have been embraced by a larger number of organizations. So AI-driven talent management and talent development will become mainstream.
Lovely, great predictions, and I'm sure that it will surely happen. Wisal?
Sectors, actually, all the sectors that we represent here today. I think in particular when in regards to real estate, I'm foreseeing a larger Omani workforce joining the real estate segment in Oman, representing not only real estate development, but also across other lines like construction, brokerage, etc., which you're seeing a lot of, particularly within the last 5 years. So I do foresee a growth in the Omani workforce joining the real estate segment. I hope to see it across all functions. We try to do that as much as possible as at WUJHA by recruiting in each department at least, young Omani talents, and I hope to see other leaders within the real estate segments lead in the same way to include the Omani workforce within the sector.
I think that's very important with the number of real estate projects, on the increase in Oman. It's a great industry in which employment can be generated, and many of these have mental barriers for the Omani workforce to enter. Yes. Sales is one, right?
Yes.
Because you sell dreams in
it's a
real
booming
estate
industry. For Omanis to join this industry will not only open doors for them in Oman, but on an international level. And that is what a lot of Gen Zers are seeking today. They want that international exposure. They want that room to move freely within their career as well. And it gives them that flexibility and adaptability that they need.
Absolutely. Yeah, great thoughts. Hamza?
Wisal and Ritesh, there will be no need for long training programs. There have to be accelerated. The young generation looks for instant gratification. You post a picture on Instagram, you're waiting for likes in seconds. Which means the way organizations look at succession planning is different. The traditional way is we identify critical roles and we build people towards these roles. But moving forward, succession planning should be based on critical competencies that the organization look for to success, which means there might be need for reskilling or upskilling depending on the Vision 2040. We saw panel members today speaking about the green energy and logistics, where Oman is heading, and we need to develop talents really in those industries. Last but not least, the importance of coaching, because having a coaching culture means that you're open to other perspectives. So a coach will not give you an answer, but they will rather give you another avenue to think from, which is very important in bridging the gap between the different generations that we have at the workplace.
Absolutely, great thoughts. As I had mentioned, coaching intertwined with training is what will make a great difference in organizations when it comes to people development, because coaching is very personal. It touches areas which training generally wouldn't touch. Great thoughts. Atia?
Yeah, so definitely enhancing the development of local workforce. And that can happen through different initiatives, but the most importantly over next 5 years would be AI. So how, for example, they are in different departments, how we can implement AI initiatives, AI tools in order to make the work easy. And we can utilize those resources in the work that a human being is required. And hence we will develop their competencies, understanding the latest trend of technology and implementing that in the workforce. That is one of the major initiatives we want to take over next 5 years. On top of that, learning and development initiative and developing local workforce is already ongoing. However, we want the technical team to be mostly local. So starting from a junior role to a senior, definitely it will take 5 to 10 years. But our aim is to enhance humanization. And I want to add that here, our regulator, that is FSA, they are also supporting while developing the local talent. So definitely we will develop, but they cannot reach to a higher level of position if their approvals are not there. So they are also providing us the tools as well as learning and development opportunities to our workforce.
Which is true. Insurance is an industry where you can't just like that produce talent. It takes time, right? And they need to be given opportunities to do so. Yeah, you're right. With right talents opened up, I'm sure insurance will really be able to employ some good local talent. So that kind of brings us to the end of today's discussion. I'm very happy that we are finishing the discussion very much within the given time. Thank you very much, panel members. As I said, Vision 2040 is a great document. And nurturing internal talent development, we heard some great examples. And with nation building in the center of whatever we are doing, you can't do that without nurturing internal talent. And each organization should focus on doing it and giving it the best. Thank you very much. Thank you for your valuable, great examples and contributions. Thank you. Thank you. Please give them a big hand. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our panelists and Mr. Venkatish, for today's thought-provoking and incisive decision. OER Business Summit 2025 wouldn't have been possible without the steadfast support of our partners, and on behalf of Oman Economic Review, I would like to express our appreciation and thanks to them. Our endorsing partners, Advantage Austria and the Embassy of Tanzania,